And good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. Sir Rick Drive Safe Dave and the producer coming to you on a great, cool Tuesday morning. Love the cool weather out. It was nice not to come in the morning and turn the AC on first thing in the morning.
Right when you jump in the car, make sure you got it running, rocking and rolling before you leave. But hey, you know what? I think we're going to have even cooler weather by the end of the week. We're going to be seeing what highs in the 60s around here at the end of the week. Be nice.
Yes, nothing wrong with little cool weather it gets me in a much better spirit, much better frame of mind. I become the jolly Sir Rick around town. Yesterday, another 358 planes get canceled, announced by about 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Right after the show, more planes are canceling because of COVID. I don't think it was weather related now.
No, I was watching a really pretty in-depth article yesterday on the news about exactly what's going on. So the airlines have been playing it pretty close to the vest in regards to flight crews and the people working. And then when bad things happen and they have to cancel, those flight crews have to go off station and off status. So they're unable to put them in a different mode, different ways. So really, I mean, let's be honest. All this is about workforce. This is about not having enough people to do the job and the number of flights that are out there. And then when bad weather happens, it just dominoes and then explodes from there.
Yeah, and you know what? Our industry, we feel the same thing. When weather happens and roads shut down, construction, ice storms, wind, whatever it is, you just can't get back up and going again. There are hours of service regulations that keep you from going. I think we understand what happens on that. And when a wind condition happens or storms happen, what happened Friday and Saturday, it really does take a long time to get everything back up to normal. I know sometimes the shippers out there are like, oh, come on. That was last week. It's 78 degrees here right now. What do you mean you can't deliver my freight on time?
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, what do the airlines typically do? They deliver freight, but it's people. So, I mean, they do the exact same thing that we do. They just do it in a little bit different elevation than we do it here on the ground, but they do the exact same thing. They deliver from point A to point B, and you can't. So think of it this way. You get delayed 1 or 2 days, or you get delayed. How all those lanes and all that freight that was building up, it just keeps stacking up. Yeah. They just keep piling it up.
Ship that's going to come out, the cargo ship, is expected to make its voyage by the end of the year, right? What do you think about that? Here it is. It's going to be able to go 13 knots. And keep in mind, a normal cargo ship that carries a lot more cargo than this usually runs between 16 and 25 knots.
Yeah, it's a slow roller, but it doesn't go a super long way. It's not open sea. It's in the North Sea. And it's not open, and it's only going to be during warm weather times. It can't run, obviously, in cold weather times because the North Sea freezes up. But I'll tell you, what's interesting is that it's all battery operated, and it won't run any fossil fuels. It'll just run on batteries. So I don't imagine it can go at a very high rate of speed.
Yeah, it's zero emissions, so kind of cool on that. It goes 13, like I said, 13 knots and carries around 103 containers. So not the biggest of ships for certain out there.
But it's a start.
And all the way, so it's a 7 MWH battery, whatever that is. But Megawatt. It does go into Minge and goes to say, hey, you know what? It'll take a little while for this puppy to charge back up.
Yeah, megawatt. It's a megawatt instead of a kilowatt. So that's what it is.
So major delay or major time constraint in the charging of the battery, producer.
Well, I think it's also interesting that this is the first step that the shipping world, not roadside shipping, but actual shipping, has taken towards zero emissions and automation is what it seems like, at least the first one that I've seen in the news. And while it's going to take a while because obviously unmanned ships, with ships having such massive operating systems, it'll take a little bit, but this is actually going to be removing up to 40,000 truck journeys in certain populated areas up there in, I believe it was Norway. So it's going to be bringing in a lot more freight, at least to certain places, moving things around whenever you don't have the staff to, which I think is maybe important right now whenever we don't have staff in certain places.
Yeah, it just may not be, the freight that, it may not be stuff that you still want, right? I mean,
what?
It's going to take twice as long to get there, so make sure you're ordering in plenty of time. But I will say this, it is going to that industry, the shipping industry, and literally the shipping, they use 3% of that global greenhouse emissions comes out of there. I mean, without a doubt, they're just pumping in. I'm done. I'm not staying at home anymore. The guy is sitting out there. Check this out. He's under house arrest.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got the opportunity to either go in jail, stay at home. He leaves, escapes his house, goes into the local police barracks and says, hey, you know what? Take me to jail. I can't handle her anymore.
I'd rather be in prison than with her. And they went ahead and arrested him and sent him to prison.
Oh,
so he got his wish.
His wish came true.
So he is a happy man.
So he says right here, he said, hey, listen, my domestic life has become hell. I can't do it anymore. I want to go to jail, quote unquote, and drive safe. To your point, they escorted him right to jail. He got his wish.
He got his wish. Maybe he's just happy, or maybe he's sitting locked in a cell somewhere and thinking, thank God I don't have to listen to her today.
This first one here, I mean, driver does a great job. He's starting to back off already. This vehicle goes past him. Big picture load securement. Probably doesn't feel real comfortable about how that load's secured on that flatbed. So driver does a great job of creating space, backing off, and waiting before he goes over to make the pass or get over there. So just great recognition here by the driver of what's going on, and maybe that load isn't as secure as it should be. Big picture here again. Patience, and I like this. Oh, this is a stop sign one. This is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. We come up to it, and I think we're going to roll right through this one. And no, this is the stop one. This is one of the good ones. We stop for it. It's the middle of the night. We're in a low traffic area, not much going on, but the driver still comes to the stop sign, stops completely, looks both ways, double checks that he's clear to go before he goes. And so that's just great. Middle of the night stuff, nobody's around.
Hey, what's up with the arrow right here? You don't see those very often, do you? Just say, hey, this is the way you're going. I mean, I hope so. It's a one-lane road at that point. I mean, if you're coming the other way, are you going to look at the backwards arrow and say, oh, crap?
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
Hey, great job stopping at the stop sign.
Okay.
Here we go. We got merging lanes right here. We see it. Oh, no. Don't do it.
No, and that's just it. Got to be prepared. You got to be patient. And we're trying to get ahead of here, trying to get past that 18-wheeler and get up there and fit into a space where we really didn't have room to do it. So it's a big picture. You said it earlier, Rick, the patience, the professionalism. What the driver needed to do was just recognize, hey, my lane's ending. I don't have the room to get over there. I need to start slowing down. I need to start backing up and let this vehicle get in front of me so I can get over there.
Yeah, I counted 4 signs there that we saw telling us that lane is ending. It's not a shocker. It's not a surprise. And you know what? We tend to hear a lot of complaints about this, about the four-wheelers doing that to us, right? Cutting us off right in front. And here we are doing the same thing to one of our brothers out there on the road.
Yeah, we're trying to squeeze into a tight space, and then all you're going to do is you're just going to create less space between vehicles, between all 3 of these big trucks. And I'll tell you, it's not a good idea. You've got to make sure that you create the space, and you're not doing it here. The best way to create space is to back off.
Yeah, and you know what? It tells me, too, that on somebody else's TV show this morning, they're showing our truck, this truck right here, doing its way, and they're saying, we don't want to be like them. And folks, that's not what we're after. We want to be the leaders. We want to be, we want to help change this industry, the image of the industry, and this isn't helping right here. No. We've got to pack our patience and just get in line.
Here's again, speed and space, big picture. You got to know where your out is on this one. We're coming up really fast on them, and a sudden acceleration. You need to be looking at that big picture, seeing what's going on. We got traffic on the side of the road and everything, so we know good chance somebody's going to be slowing down, or there's people, pedestrians around there. So we got to start backing off sooner, seeing that big picture. As soon as those brake lights in front of us come on, need to start slowing down and backing up on it. Keep that space.
Boy, does this give anybody else anxiety when you see this?
So, yeah, absolutely. And you look at this, and you're in the right lane, and you've got some good spacing here, but not being able to maintain it is worrisome to me when you count off 1001, you're well within you're way too close to begin with. And secondly, all of this stuff going on in the shoulder as you approach, you need to be genuinely cautious. You don't know who's standing there, what's going on there, and what's happening, especially when you look right there. You see a lot happening. You should be slowing down and giving that a wide berth and being very cautious as you approach that dangerous area.
Yeah, I'm going to agree right here. Look, the brakes are on already on the truck in front of you. You've got to start slowing down now. Why? Well, because he sees something that you can't see.
Yeah,
he sees something that you're blind to. And that's because there's not enough space there. But use the clues, and that is when you see the brake light, you've got to start applying it right now, not waiting to the last second.
Yep. I mean, that space is in front of you. You can't jump over there. And so anytime we see, traffic or something alongside the road, that is just a clue to slow way down, because, that's our out in it. That's the protecting life, is slowing down, managing that speed there.
Look at and when you look at that video, you see the person standing out there. You see a lot going on there. It's time to back off and give yourself plenty of wide berth.
This is one, I love this video. It's a great one to close with, because, intersections are dangerous. But look what this driver's doing. Driver recognizes he does not have enough space to go through this green light. Stops before he gets out in the intersection and plugs it up. He's protecting life. Any traffic behind him is not going to get out in that intersection and have the light change on him. So just a fantastic video right here.
Yeah, that right there, that is making a difference. That is action to what we've been speaking to. That is somebody that sees a situation, that knows that he or she, they have the green light, right? And they're not playing the role that says, well, I'm just going to go. I had the green light, block up the whole intersection. They're waiting it out. They pack their patience. They are saying, right now, I can't really go because my trailer's going to block the entire intersection. I'm not protecting life. They're realizing an intersection, which we speak about, that bad things happen in intersections. So you have to protect yourself. Yeah, speaking of snow, we are talking a little bit about substance abuse this year, or this week.
Wow, what a lead in.
That is a tie-in.
That's a lead in.
That is good. That's right. This week's safety topic, we're talking about CSA scores. Yesterday we went over vehicle maintenance, and today's topic is controlled substance and alcohol, okay? It's usually, when you look at CSA scores, it's usually carriers one of their best scores. The threshold is 80%, and we're currently at 4%, so we're doing a very good job there. I mean, things that we need to remember as drivers, if we're on prescription drugs or prescription medications, you need to let the safety department know about it. You need to let HR know about it. And you need to know what the withdrawals are. I mean, there are certain drugs, you can take them and you're released, but you have to have 72 hours since the last time you take it to be ready to drive, because those drugs will make you sleepy. They can make you sleepy, drowsy, disorientated, forgetful. And so you really want to pay attention to those. Just because it's a prescription drug doesn't mean that you can take them and drive right away. So you need to make sure you let HR, safety know about that. If you have any questions about it, talk to safety or talk to your doctor and say, hey, I drive a commercial motor vehicle for a living. When, what's the withdrawal period on this? When can I take it? How long do I have to wait before I do that? And so, need to be aware of that type of thing. So that is today's topic. And then alcohol and beer, can't have it in your truck. Just cannot have it in your truck unless it's manifested. That's the only time you should have alcohol or beer in your truck. And usually, when I look at CSA scores and look at carriers, that's usually where their violations are. Drivers, on my 34 break, I'm going to get a six-pack or whatever and have it in their truck. That's when they get in trouble, or they don't throw the bottles out, or